I'm curious how many different... okay, everything except for one. Makes sense?
为什么会这样？
God, Jimmy. You know what? We'll do Jimmy first, and then we'll do Alicia later. Let me just drink something quickly. A grey world. The manga was grey. The sky was grey. Even the happy free friends that had been playing on the screen looked grey. For the past 2 days I have been faking a foot injury. I hadn't left the room at all. Even all of my meals had been brought home by Rocky. I felt like a lump of sludge rotting in front of the computer, staring at it all day. Why would she spend her birthday with the art teacher, Mr. Wen? Were they a couple? I closed the episode of Happy Free Friends. I then logged into my secret blog. All of the recent entries had been about her. The most recent one had some pictures that I had taken on her birthday. She had gone into a cafe with Mr. Wen. They then left together, rode the subway together. They even went into the same apartment building. Even though I had soon found out that we were neighbors, it still felt like too much of a coincidence. Did she move next door to him knowing that he lived there? She's not as crazy as you, Jimmy. I kept scrolling through the pictures, imagining that it had been me with her instead. I had been looking at her from far away, but I couldn't summon the courage. When I finally had my line ready, it was Mr. Wen who got in ahead of me. Jimmy, I'm going to eat the last piece of cake in the fridge if you don't, Rocky yelled from the living room. Yeah, go ahead. I wiped my face hastily. Thank you, I'll bring you more chicken legs tonight. Rocky had thought it was my birthday 2 days ago. I'd ordered the cake from Hong Kong. Thank goodness I hadn't put her name on it. I took another glance at those annoying pictures and clicked the delete button. The confirmation dialog popped up. Yet I couldn't do it. I dragged myself to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. My face was horribly pale. My hair was all messed up and my eyes were so red. Even the reflection seemed to be mocking my loser self. I took a wet towel and went back to the computer. I rinsed my glass with boiled water and poured some milk into it. I grabbed the face cream and squeezed the container. I held the glass up and stirred, then took a big sip. I didn't realize I had just made a huge mistake. I just thought the milk tasted bitter because of my horrible mood, yet it also had a minty taste, and my tongue was feeling a little numb. I looked at the bottle I'd just used. Smoothie face cream, make your face smooth like a smoothie. Then I remembered that I'd run out of honey like half a month ago. I spit out all of the remaining flavored milk onto the computer. But the real tragedy was yet to come. While I was busy wiping my keyboard, I accidentally pressed enter. I never had any backup for these pictures, as I'd always felt guilty about them in the first place. So now they were all gone. All gone. Jimmy. Here is Alicia trying to murder people, getting murdered, having to escape for dear life. And there's Jimmy, accidentally deleting some stalking pictures he made because he spilled some milk on his keyboard and then pressed delete by accident. Alright, Jimmy, let's fix your silly little problem. Went back to the computer. Sure. No. Yeah. That should probably be it. I eventually hit the cancel button. I still couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't tell if I was just too tired or if it was because of the milk. I hunched over the desk and fell asleep. Jesus Christ, Jimmy. Jimmy, please. Alright. Alright, Alicia's next. That's a mood change. Thursday. On the side of a bush-covered hill 2 kilometers away from Taiyo Road. Through the scope of my M110, I was staring at a factory 1 kilometer away. There was no other vantage point around the factory. This was the closest FFP available. final firing position refers to a chosen position by a sniper or a team in a mission. A spot could be considered a potential FFP if it satisfies the following conditions. 1. The target's location must be widely visible from the spot. 2. There are covert pathways available in and out of the area. 3. Avoid places that are adjacent to artificial structures and roads, as well as any sites that might attract the target's attention. 4. Ideally, it should be in the downwind direction, and if possible, be close to water. The wind speed was 4.3 meters per second, and there were no signs of that changing. Mil.4 -2. I'd laid out the bullets next to me in a straight line, warming them up in the sun. 2:10 p.m. A small yellow sedan drove up to the factory entrance. Loading. The door opened and a woman with a full head of fiery red hair got out of the car. Her name was Li Hua. She was the head of the firearms smuggling team in the Blood Gang. Aiming. I pulled the trigger. I like how her silhouette changed. The target was down. I saw a flash from a window on the second floor of the factory. There was another sniper aiming at me. A bullet pierced and shattered the scope. I jerked myself to the side. The bullet didn't go through my eye as my opponent had hoped, but it did give me a severe injury. The right side of my face was burning. It felt like it was on fire. I lowered my body and slid down the other side of the slope. I got onto the motorcycle that I had prepared in advance. However, on the way back my consciousness began drifting away. I lost control of the vehicle. The bike tumbled headfirst into a ditch. Blood was mixing with the muddy water of the ditch. It was black and red everywhere. While Li Hua had been killed, completing a mission like this was rather embarrassing. Perhaps this wasn't the right job for me after all. Alicia. Okay. That way would work, I assume. It might work, depending on where the game goes with it, at least. My bullet pierced and shattered my opponent's scope and skull. Meanwhile, while I was distracted, the red-haired woman had disappeared from my sight. I lowered my body and slid down the other side of the slope. I got onto the motorcycle that I'd prepared in advance. They would no doubt be enhancing their security after this. I had failed my first mission. I didn't know how to report back to Ray. The noise from the engine echoed through the valley, and it sounded like a growl from an upset monster that no one could see, making me feel even more unsettled. Okay, it's just an A. No, what does that do? Just out of curiosity. Because that looks weird. I could see in the scope that my opponent had dodged my killing shot. Nevertheless, I had earned enough time to disengage. Mission accomplished. I lowered my body and slid down the other side of the slope. I got onto the motorcycle that I had prepared in advance. I rode away faster than a breeze. I reported the news to Ray in the luxury suite on the top floor of Melody Hall. He was very happy. I have something for you. Ray picked up his coat from the floor and pulled a small box from its pocket. He then handed it to me with his left hand. It's a shame I can't help you put it on. Later, I put the glamorous jeweled necklace into my special treasure box collection. Then I took out a necklace with a cross on it out of the box. It was the necklace that I'd worn ever since I was a kid. I put it into an envelope. I wanted to mail it to my brother. Over the last 4 years, I had been regularly sending money to the orphanage back home. Aunt Benita had also written back to me a couple times. She told me that Carlos had been doing well and that he had worked very hard in school. Carlos must have been all grown up now. He must have become a fine young man. I really wished that one day I could get a letter written by him. You might get more than a letter written by him.
Lo siento.
만약 돌아올 수만 있다면.
Alright, I think I'll do one more. I'll do Lee Wen's, and then I'm going to end my recording session. I'm still, as always, I have no idea how long I've been recording, so it'll probably be 2 episodes. Life is like a box of chocolate milk. As soon as I walked into school that morning, I knew that something was wrong. Everyone I knew and didn't know was looking at me with a strange look, and they were all talking about something in a hushed voice. That was the girl. Wasn't the teacher new here? He was pretty old, wasn't he? Honestly, I wouldn't say no to a teacher as handsome as him. But living together? Oh no, that's too far. Living together? What on earth are they talking about? Jing was standing at the door of the classroom. She rushed towards me and dragged me into the restroom as soon as she saw me. She pulled out her phone and showed it to me. It was the top post on the school BBS forum. Senior student Li Wen from class 1 living together with hot new art teacher. There were also a few photos of me and Mr. Wen, clearly taken from a distance in secret. Jimmy, what have you done? All of them were from the evening of the exhibition. There were pictures of us at the entrance, in the cafe, even one of us going into our building. Dear God, what the hell were all these? What did you do? Did you piss somebody off? Why would someone stalk you and take pictures of you and then make them public? What's going on? I carefully read the post again. It was posted by a newly registered account with no other information at all. The poster clearly wanted to remain anonymous. I thought about it as hard as I could for a long time, yet I still had no clue. I honestly couldn't think of anyone who'd be so mad at me as to do this. How would I ever explain this whole thing? I ran to the 3rd floor of the office building, hoping to explain myself to Miss Young. Just as I was about to step into the hallway, 2 tall boys stopped me, smirking. Miss Lee, we hear that you have been living together with the new art teacher. He isn't even that handsome, is he? What do you think about us, Miss Lee? Would you like to give us a shot? I was thinking about how to get rid of these losers when I saw Mr. Wen come out from one of the offices and pass nearby. He had obviously noticed me, but he pretended that he hadn't. All of my strength had suddenly left my body. I was at a loss. I didn't want to stay in school for one more moment. I ran back to the classroom, grabbed my backpack, and ran away from the school in plain sight of everyone. There was a 7-Eleven on my way home. My stomach started rumbling when I arrived at the store entrance. I walked in and bought a box of chocolate milk. I also ended up giving them the wrong bill. Then I left the store. I walked into the small alley that led to my building. I felt a sudden spell of dizziness and I blacked out. I fell to the ground. My wallet fell out. The milk box was opened and glugging down the throat. In a haze I saw a dark and thick hand pick up my wallet and throw the empty milk box into a nearby trash can. He carried me on his shoulder and kept walking deeper into the alley. My eyes began to slowly close shut. I felt as if I couldn't open them anymore. Oh no, I'm being taken away by a bad man. I'm screwed. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself locked inside a strange room without a window. My school uniform, shirt and underwear were scattered on the floor. Everything was dirty and ruined, including me. Pain was coming from all over my body, reminding me that this wasn't the first time I had woken up. The door screeched and opened. A man wearing beach shorts and a tank top walked in. I recognized him. I finally realized that for some people in this world, there was nothing beneath them. Robbery, kidnapping, even... I tried to back away from him, but my legs were tied to the table, and I couldn't move, not even 1 inch. I could only shut my eyes, hoping that I could wish myself into passing out again. I hoped someone had noticed me when I was taken. If only I had left some clues. Somebody, help me. Li Wen. You recognize him, but who is it? Oh. The store owner? Maybe? I must have just not been paying attention to part of the story while I was reading it. I don't know. I didn't get that detail. Probably this as the last thing. Or either the last or the first thing. Just try this. In a haze, I saw a pair of dark and thick hands pick me up from the ground. He then carried me on his shoulder. Okay. I tried my best to focus all of my remaining strength and squeezed the milk box in my hand. The drops of milk left a trail on the ground. Soon, the box was emptied out and there was nothing left. He took another turn into an even more obscure tiny path deep inside the alley. My eyes began to slowly close shut and I felt as if I couldn't open them anymore. Maybe it was my final wish, but I thought I saw somebody running towards us. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in my own bed, covered with a warm blanket. My bag and wallet were on a chair next to the bed. There was no one else in the room. Someone who had been passing by must have saved me. Although, how would a random hero know where I lived? He wouldn't. And maybe, just maybe for once in his life, Jimmy did something useful. My phone buzzed twice. Jing had texted me more than once. Are you okay? I just heard that the school BBS had been hacked. Everything was gone. Feel better, okay? Everything will get better soon. Jing, thank you. Hackers. A hero who saved me. And Mr. Wen. So many things had happened today. I pulled up the blanket to cover my face. I had been completely drained. I didn't want to think about anything anymore. Okay, got an S. I'm not quite sure I understand really what happened here, but I should probably. You know what? We'll do the S ending again, but I want to find out a couple of different endings, so just scramble these up a bit. Just so that I can get a better grasp on what actually happened here. I fell down the stairs at the door of the 7-Eleven. Unfortunately, the cashier wasn't paying attention as there hadn't been too many customers. In a haze, I saw a dark and thick hand pick up my wallet and throw the empty milk box into a nearby trash can. So it wasn't the shop owner, or in this case, the cashier, I guess. So I don't know who the guy was. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. The doctor said I had fallen down the stairs at the door of the 7-Eleven and broken my right arm and needed to rest for a few days at home. The smell of the detergent in the hospital made me feel sick. I didn't want to stay for one more second. But somebody had taken my wallet and I couldn't pay my bill to leave. Why did bad things keep happening to me? After school, Jing showed up at the hospital. She gave me a big hug and I broke down crying. Okay. That's bad. That's a new ending. In the haze, yeah, okay. Squeezed the milk box in her hand. Box is empty. Okay, she's back in the strange room again. Yeah. Same guy again. She recognized him. I tried to back away from him, but my legs were tied to the table and I couldn't move even 1 inch. I could only shut my eyes, hoping that I could wish myself into passing out again. Somebody, please help me. Okay, that was not a very informative ending. There's still 2 more. What about something like this? No. This? Yeah, okay. Okay, she's in the hospital again. Okay, this time she had enough money to pay the bill. Okay. Then I left in a hurry. Okay, that wasn't that informative. There's one more. It might take a while to get that. What just happened there? I don't even know. You know what? Doesn't matter. What was S? Wallet, milk, alley, dizziness. Milk, alley dizziness. Okay, sure. We'll leave it at that. Wait, has this guy always been here? Oh, whatever. Alright, that'll do it for this episode of Will a Wonderful World. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.